Hello! Let's continue our series of lessons dedicated to the chamber music. Today it will be much more practical lesson because I've decided to show you actually using the piano real examples of how to study a piece. And I've chosen Dvořák Sonatina Op.100. Just few words about this piece. It is important to understand that actually this sonatina was written in the same period when the composer was working on his famous gigant symphony of the New World. So of course there are a lot of influence of the grand masterpiece, and this is just to think about. So let's start immediately. Today I'll show you something about the exposition of the first movement, of course. And the first thing we see is allegro risoluto. What means actually allegro risoluto? Risoluto, if we translate this word from Italian into English, it is something like a decided, with a decision. So allegro, of course, it's a tempo indication, but it's not like very fast, because this is fast but with a decision. Okay, so for me it's like not too much and not too small, something like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, something like that. So we have our 8+8 typical section, and let's play it. Okay, I will play both violin and piano part. Etc. So we have the first 8 bar with the logic of 4 + 4. The question yam tam tim tam, question la da da di da di da 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 dam, answer. Another one yadaram with sforzato, insisting yadaram dim tam dam, D. Modulation in E minor, the relative minor of G major. And then something else. So we have to absolutely consider that the changes of harmony actually is only on the piano part, because the violin does ding. Then the second time always here what actually piano does. J major. The second time here. So the violinist has absolutely understand that here this note will be completely different. He has to provide the changes of harmony from J major to E minor. Okay, then what happens actually with the rhythmical situation, with the rhythmical design? First time violin does and piano have a syncopation. The second time they invert. Yadaram, yadaram, tim tam tim tim, and then da di da 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 di da di. I can, of course, this is the melodic line, but this was one it's actually like a contra theme, I guess, because it could be absolutely like a own melody. Okay, so this is the 4 and 4, then second 4 and second 4. This is the first time. The second time. So we go up to the quarter. Absolutely more soft. Even if we have the first time the indication of piano, this is, and here mezzo piano. But you have also considered that the first time we are going from mezzo forte to piano, and the second time you go from forte to mezzo piano. Okay, and what's happening? And violin, yum, 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 4 times D, but it cannot be absolutely the same D. First thing that we have, of course, to know that we have done the modulation to the dominant tonality of J major. It means D major, okay? So more open sound. But this 4D should be played in an absolutely different manner. So this first time, this first time, in together, together. Then invert, the melody from the piano goes to the violin. And the piano does as well, but at the same time piano does a unison with the violin. Violin, of course, should be upper because we have a different of an octave, and if the instrument is higher, so we have to hear it more. Always very soft, okay? And then we have so we modulate into H minor, wow, or B minor. It depends on how you use a C, like in German style or English style. So from nothing, really in one bar in the modulation, that is a bridge to something new. So how to actually study this when you for the first time read this piece? Of course, I would say once the violin part has to play the theme, then does the same thing without playing all the piano part, but only harmony part. So The second thing that you should do is to play everything, of course, and to create the phrasing. The first time, first 8 bars with the question and answer. Then the second phrase, second 8 bars, considered in the modulation in the E minor, and then you have a little bridge to something new that pass actually to the piano from the violin. You see here, violin, piano, so you have to know this, and the violin actually has to give his line to the piano line. Okay, so now I will play only the piano part without even singing the violin part, trying to actually realize what I'm talking about. And then what we had to do, we should play only melody of the piano part and then together violin and piano part. So it should sound like this. And then do the same thing without playing all the texture, but only harmony. Etc. And then everything. What is this? I would imagine maybe the piano trio, something like this, or even the string trio. This is, for example, cello, violas, and then the second violin, let's say. Then together second, the first. So, and then this, it's like a command, you know, in Italian it should be si, si, something like that. It's just like, we call it in Italy, messa di voce. Niam, tim. So I should say the velocity of the bow, it's like small, then speeder, and then smaller, okay? So... Then, one more time, very decisional. Important when the violin has this. The second time, triple with the sforzando. And gradual diminuendo in 3 bars. The piano part is like a bit concertante. Of course, you have to rehearse this bar. Can you see? You have the third difference. Or, I guess. So practice to be absolutely together and knowing that here you have the third and here no. Independent voices, but yeah, nona, 9, sorry, not 11, 6, 6 octave, and then and always calmer, then something new. Okay, so I played the piano part. I hope you were following with the score. If not, just go back, take the score and follow. This time the theme, the second theme, is discovered by the piano at the first time. But in the same moment it passes to the violin. So the piano starts violin. You have two options. Consider this like the following of the theme. Or like echo and comment. So comment and then together, and then for sure violin, piano. Piano. Together. Violin. And then the reprise. Here, this is a typical Slavic, melancholic, nostalgic theme, okay? Really typical, but I should not consider this like, you know, a carpet. For me, it's like a flowing of the river, really constant. So maybe una corda, and really very soft, but very clear, every note. Something like this. And very separate, like two different pianos. We switch the theme from the theme. Now it would be comment from the right hand to the left. Little thing here we have a viola. No, so please, it's not. It is. Somebody can ask his or herself, and a good question, whether this is in a upbeat or not. Because we have I think it is in the violin part when the theme actually starts no upbeat. But at the same time, we cannot think about dum, 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 dum. For me, always the last triple of harmony, it is like it's not a real upbeat, but you have to consider like it's something that going to the new picture, new room, new whatever. So direct upbeat. Typical Dvořák. Here, of course, study in this way. Place 6 very together, and here the piano is upper, so less violin, more piano. Then violin, of course. It's not first two, very, very important. So and then the same. No. Actually, to do this very good, you cannot play very fast because it will be. And we have to listen. Legato, separato, legato, separate. Okay, this, and then very, very, very together. Then violin, very, very forte, because here you don't have the unison with piano part, so violin should be really strong here. Always never too much, never scratching, but good sound. So this is how to work on the exposition. Let me know if you want to continue. I would suggest you try to do your analyze going ahead by actually yourself to understand how to applicate what you have, I hope, learned today, and try to do by yourself. Let me know in the comments whether you want me to help you with that part, whether you have questions, whether I should do the second part of the lesson as well, or it's enough and let's go to do something else. Thank you for being here. Don't please think that it is very analytical way of studying, but if you are not aware of what actually happens in the music, you will never, I guess, achieve the very, very high quality of performing. So, tonality plan, 8+8 or whatever structure, the modulations, the articulation, of course, the super dialogue, pass the voice from one instrument to another, and of course, listen to each other. Without this, it's impossible. Thank you. Bye.